Hello, everyone. My name is Roxanne Molino, and I am Ojibwe. And I am the daughter of Tom Molino First Nation from Bear Island Reservation. I am also the Indigenous Outreach Manager at Grow. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaty and is within the land protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampa Agreement. We are working closely with our Indigenous community to advocate for a just food system and to create community food programs that are cultural, relevant, diverse, equitable, and inclusive. I'll now turn it over to Arwen so we can start cooking miigwech.
Thank you, and miigwech, Roxanne. I'm honored and humbled to be here right now. Okay, so I hope everybody's having a good day so far, and I'm happy to share such a cool recipe that I've always loved so much. And so, all right, so the first step is we're gonna grab a measuring cup, and we're gonna fill that measuring cup with a cup of water, and then 2 more cups of water, and we're going to place it into a medium-sized pot. I'm just grabbing my measuring cup in this moment. It should be on the shelf. I thought I had it right here. Okay, well, I do have a cup that's about a cup. I'm going to use that cup. So it's my cup that I have right here. And I've been using this one as a measuring cup for a bit, so I trust the process. But I'm going to try and give it one more shot just for like the experience of it all. It's so funny. As soon as you give up and you just kind of like accept it, you're like, oh, there it be. So I'm going to fill it up to about right here to the 3-cup mark with some water. And there we go. We have 3 cups of water right there. I'm just going to wander over there and turn my pot on. And as my pot is on, I'm going to pour the water in. And it will look like so. Just pouring all 3 cups right in. Okay. Then the next step is just to let that boil, and that may take a couple of minutes, which is totally okay. And interesting. So I'm just gonna let that get warm. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna start chopping up some of the other ingredients that we have listed here. So we have written down on our list that we're going to be using. Oh, my little stand is working with this. I hope that it improves. Okay. So we have here to boil the water with lentils and the seasonings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bay leaf and the lentils in too in this moment. So I'll show you the lentils and the bay leaf. If anybody has any questions during this step, please feel free to ask. So I got some lentils here. So I'm gonna use a mixture of red lentils and some yellow lentils. As stated in the recipe, it's like any color of lentils that make you feel good. And I like both. Need a little bit of both. And that'll be yummy. Is everybody still following along okay and feeling comfortable with the process? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. That makes me happy. It's a really cool day out there, eh? Like I thought I was gonna be doing more snowing, but it's just kind of here, so that's nice. Okay. So I have my red
Good and
lentils.
cold, a good day for lentil soup.
Yes, I'm actually really grateful that we're making soup today because like it's always good when like the weather's like this to create soup. So there's some of the lentils. And then I'm gonna fill it to 2 cups. All right, cool. So there is 2 cups of lentils. So I'm just gonna plug this right back in here. And then I'm gonna give that to our water. And just be grateful. Any that stick on the sides, you can just obviously like scrape out with like a little spoon or a little stirring spoon. I'm gonna go grab the stirring spoon. I'm just gonna gently pull those out from the sides. Okay. And so now comes a time where we're probably going to want to chop. Well, so I'm going to use the optional ginger that was there in the recipe and probably a piece of turmeric. So I'm just going to chop it up and I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that. So it's like in the best way. There's also the option for grating. So I'm going to see if I have my grater here. Okay. So I've not located a grater. I don't know exactly what happened to it, but I do know that I'm totally open to chopping these ingredients. So that is what I will do. So work it out. Man, this always happens. As soon as I gave up on the idea, I was like, oh, there it be. I always end up putting things in different places than I thought they were in the first place. And I'm like, hang on a sec. And I confuse my own self. And I'm like, wait, hang on. What? What do you mean by that? Okay. So I'm gonna grate up 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger, and that will be very yummy. So I'm just gonna do this over here. I'm being careful of my fingers, as I bet you should too, so that way you can stay safe and feel good in the process. I'm taking my time, not rushing, because the water ain't even boiling yet anyways.
So you leave the peel on and you don't peel it first when you grate it?
I enjoy for potatoes and ginger and things like that. I really like leaving the skin on for the nutritional content. Some people do enjoy peeling things like that. So I've always studied that when you leave the skin on, it leaves a part of the nutrition that you don't get that's right underneath the layer of the skin. If somebody would like to peel it, then they are welcome to do so, and they do not have to be like me being willing to eat the skin of the vegetables and the roots that we're using. That is not necessary for the process. Thank you for inquiring. Okay. So I think I got one teaspoon here. I'm going to show you guys what I got going on. So here it is. I'm going to level it out. And there we have it. 1 teaspoon of grated ginger. I just grated it into the same bowl that I used as like a measuring cup. And that's that. And then I'm going to be pouring that right into our pot. And then I'm going to look at my list again and look and see that I have turmeric on this list as well. So I'm just going to follow that exact same step, except just using turmeric instead. Right before I do that, I'm just going to take away some of the garbage that I've created, so that way I have a clean working space to use. Also, I have my stove right now on high because I just want to get this going to a boil. But then once it's at a boil, I intend to take it from like the highest setting, the max, and I intend to take it down to maybe about here or in this general vicinity, like around the midway, right? Depending on how your stove cooks and how comfortable you are with like the rate of boiling that you got going. In fact, it's starting to boil up a little bit right now. Not completely, but we're about to get there. So yeah. Is everybody still feeling okay with everything, or does anybody have any questions yet? Okay. I'm also gonna drop in 1 little bay leaf. Beautiful, beautiful bay leaf into our little pot of soup here. It's gonna be amazing. Oh, bay leaf is such a strong medicine and it tastes so good at the same time. So I'm so happy about that. Okay. So I also have some basil here that I don't know if you have this brand, but I'm just showing the camera to make it easier on everybody's eyes. This is basil and be in. And I'm about to measure out another teaspoon. Okay, and there we have around a teaspoon of some basil. I'm gonna put that into a pot too. Did you just ask a question or is it all good? Okay, awesome. And I'm also going to grab the thyme from the shelf here. Okay, so I have actually some fresh thyme that I'm going to be using today. Whatever kind of thyme you have is good. I'm just going to be taking my hands and just ripping off the little leaves. And so I'm leaving behind the pieces of the stems. Oh, yes, you can use powdered turmeric. And if so, I guess you would use about about the same amount, maybe about 75% of the amount, so about 75% of a teaspoon. In that case then. Turmeric is not needed in this recipe, though it is something that I enjoy because it's very medicinal herb and also gives a bit of a kick to anything that you add it to. So yeah, you do what you like. I'm just over here just taking this crushed turmeric and just dropping it in. Okay. I'm just going to check and see if there are any more questions. Nope. Okay. Sounds good. So at this point, you may want to add some extra water to your pot, which is something that I do sometimes when because it boils, it gets a little bit low. So I'm just going to fill my measuring cup up about 1 cup. And I'm just going to re-add that into the water just to give it a bit more spunk. So that way all the water doesn't boil off and then it's still healthy and good. You don't have to though. That's just because I like it with a little bit more wateriness. If you want more of a stew texture, maybe just only add like maybe 1/4 cup of water to like re-add to the process, you know? Okay. So I'm just going to give you a quick look. Well, not a quick look, pretty good one of how my pot looks right now. And this is what I'm working with. And I'm just going to keep letting it boil for a little while. And I'm going to put it back up. I put it back up to about like this high. So maybe about from max about like number 9 if you're working on the 1 to 10 scale. And that way I can get it back to a boil from adding water to it. And I'll turn it back down in a moment. But I think it looks really awesome and I'm really happy about how it looks so far. And it will look even better in a little while. So, and now I'm going to chop up the onions after I clean up my workspace here. And some garlic. I'm going to chop the onions. Well, I might grate the garlic, but depends on how I feel in the moment. We'll see. I'm going to chop the onions first and I'll throw them into the pot that I'm going to be using to fry them with 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Sorry, 1 teaspoon. Okay, so here's the onion. I am back the onion. And I'm going to grab the cutting board that I'm going to be using. And then I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to chop these onions. In case you feel like you have a better way, which you're always welcome to do, but just for purposes of education, I will be showing you in this moment. So let's see. Okay. I'm gonna hold this here. Move all of the other ingredients out of the way. Here's the list that I'm using. Hold that. Place it over here for a moment. And then it is just me and y'all and this onion. So I'm going to take the onion and I'm going to take it from this perspective right where the nub is. I'm just going to peel it, chop it, and then do a little bit of a peel to create a natural edge where I can just do this and then bring it to the other side and then just begin to peel off all of the rest of the excess skin. Unless you have onions that don't have this much excess skin, which is totally cool. Whatever floats your boat. And I just turned down my pot a little bit again, back to about maybe a 7 or an 8 in this moment, just like you guys know. And I'm just gonna continue to take off the excess skin until the whole onion has just this white beauty consistency about it. Oh, I missed a little piece. Here we go. And there we have just a freshly cut onion. And then I'm going to take it from this perspective and just turn it into 2 halves, which then I can just take it and I can chop it very easily from the side in a safe way. And we will enjoy that a bit. Whatever way works for you that you know your mom, your grandma, your dad, your grandpa taught you, your best friend, your brother, whoever works for you. I'm just showing you the way that I know how to chop an onion in an effective manner. Okay, so there's the pieces of chopped onion. I'm gonna put away these pieces here, and I'm gonna grab a couple cloves of garlic, and I will be right back. Everybody still doing okay and having a good time? Yay, okay. All right, so here I have some cloves of garlic. I have, how many here? I have 1 really big one, 2 small ones that could probably count as 1. And then we'll pick this one. So we have 3 cloves of garlic here, 2 really mini ones that I just don't want to waste. I respect them. So I'm holding my hand here and I'm just gonna take these. I'm gonna move them over to the other side of the cutting board. I'm gonna move my ginger over too. And then I'm gonna chop this garlic's piece right here at the tip. And then from the other end, I'm gonna just peel. And then as I peel, all of it should just come off pretty naturally, depending on how new your garlic is. And then I'm just gonna chop it like so, just gonna quick slice. In fact, I may get a thicker knife because that will simplify my process. But first, I'm just gonna get my money's worth out of this part of the process of just getting the excess skin off of the garlic that we're very grateful protects our garlic. Okay, if we're out of fresh garlic, you could probably use like about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and like 1 teaspoon and then a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, if that's how you feel, if that's what works for you. Whatever you have available to you will always work. Also, just want to give you guys a quick show of how my soup looks right now. And I'm thinking I might add a little bit more water to it so that way it has more room to boil. With soup, I don't freak out too much. I just let it be natural, you know, and if it needs a little bit more water throughout the process, I don't get mad at it because soup, sometimes it dissipate, what is the word? I can't think of the exact word right now, but the science behind it is like as the steam collects, you know, it's gonna take water out of the pot itself. So I'm just careful with that. I'm gonna try and find a cover and see if we can remedy that. So that way I don't have to keep adding more water. Okay, sweet. So I'm gonna finish the first part of chopping these pieces of garlic. Also, did you get the garlic powder together? Is it all good? Do you feel comfortable in the process? I presume so. I believe you do. So I'm gonna grab, so this is what it looks like right now. Just kind of little slivers of garlic. I'm just gonna grab another knife that has a bit wider of a body to it. And I'm going to just use that instead to finish the job of chopping because I feel like that will make it better. Okay. All right. All right, so I grabbed my favorite knife and I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna chop up all of this garlic that I have here. These, oh, I forgot one little clove over there, which just means I only have like 2.5 cloves. So I'm gonna finish chopping this little piece over here. We're all human.
So Mike says he's using tin foil as a lid because I guess he doesn't have a lid for his pot. Yeah, that should work, eh?
Honestly, as long as it holds the condensation, that's the word that I was looking for earlier. As long as you either just be aware that like adding water is something that you want to do, or just use something as a cover that you feel comfortable using. Whatever is in your home that makes you feel like whatever you have access to and whatever is safe for you, you know? That's very ingenuity, actually, man. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Just don't use a cloth. You don't want to set it on fire.
No, ma'am, we do not. We like our homes exactly the way they are. Okay, so I'm just chopping up this garlic pretty finely, but not overly finely, but finely enough that you won't be chomping on it, you know? Because we won't be taking this out. So we will be taking the bay leaf out at some point. But I'm almost done chopping this garlic. It's looking pretty finely chopped. I'll show you guys like the level of chop that I'm at. I'll get a closer look in a moment just so you can compare. And also, if you want to grate it instead, you do what you want. I don't know why. I like chopping garlic. It's something that I enjoy. I don't know why, but it's kind of a fun part of the process, you know. And also, I find it's a little bit easier than trying to hold a little piece of garlic to a grater. But not everybody would feel that way, which is absolutely okay. Whatever comes naturally to you, and as already stated, whatever you have access to. All right, so I'm going to show you guys the level of chop that I got. And this is where I'm at. It is chopped that finely. And just to give you a comparison, this is a spoon that's a tablespoon. Let me show you the teaspoon that we're using. So this is a teaspoon comparatively to the garlic. So that's the size. And I might even do one more round of chop, but that's pretty much about how fine you would need to make it in order to get it to be where it needs to be for the process to be good. And just give it one more good luck chop. And yeah. No one else has any more questions? Everyone is still feeling comfortable in the process?
Hi, Arwen. Sorry. I joined.
I apologize. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Too good. Feeling nice.
Good. Awesome. Sorry, I missed a step. The ginger, is that in with the lentils or is that still waiting?
Yes, ma'am. That is already in with the lentils, but also at the same time, you don't have to trip it whenever you get it in it and whatever the timeline you want. Mine will be pretty gingery based on the fact that I put it in already. You know what I mean?
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I am happy to answer your questions and get accommodating in this moment. Honored. Okay. So I'm just starting to do some cleanup over here. I feel like that's a good thing to do. As we have time in between, doing some cleanup to keep the kitchen nice and healthy and a good space. Yep.
Yeah, Ken said we always, in our house, we always leave the bay leaf in the soup, and whoever gets it in their bowl is lucky. And when I had 2 kids, so when they were little, I always used to put 2 bay leaves and everything. And surprisingly, both of them got a bay leaf in their bowl.
Oh, yes, I do the exact same thing. Honestly, okay, well, if that's what we're doing, because like I actually move that way too. I swear, when I leave it in, and then when I get the bay leaf, I'm like, and like, and if there's a guest, we hope that they get it so that they feel nice, but yeah, I'm really happy to hear that there are other people who think like this. The lucky bay leaf. Okay, so we're just cleaning up a little bit. Gonna clean up some of the garlic stuff that I need. Also for people who, wouldn't want that. Oh, also the garlic that is chopped, please feel free to put it into the pot now if that's what you desire. Or if you want to, you can put it in with the onions. Whichever one makes you feel good. You can either roast the garlic with the onions, which is the step that we're about to complete, or you can put it into the soup directly, just like you had with the ginger. Whichever one floats your boat. Okay. So here I have my cast iron pot that I love so much and has always been a good friend to me. And I just turned on my stove there. I'm gonna put on this burner. And I covered up the pot too. So I'm gonna be putting it down to about a little under medium. And then I think that's good for that. And then I'm gonna keep this on high until it gets there where it needs to go. And I'm just gonna show you how much oil I'm using in the recipe that we have together here. A state that we're gonna use about 1 teaspoon. And there we have it in this moment, 1 teaspoon of oil that I am going to be putting in the pot. And it looks like about enough actually. That looks like a healthy amount of oil. Not too much and not too little, right? You don't want to overwhelm the oil, like the pot with the oil, right? But you also don't want to add so little that you don't have like a good experience of a fry, right? And we're not frying too much here. We're just using enough, not too much. So here we go. So now I'm choosing to fry the onions as well as the garlic together. So I'm gonna just throw that into the pot right now, and then I'll show you that in just a second. All right, sweet. So I'm gonna cover up my knife for safety measure. Just as already stated, just kind of keep cleaning up around the space as I go along. I'm just gonna take my spoons and give them a new home. Take back the garlic and the ginger that we no longer need. So it looks so pretty in the shot though. I'm putting away the thyme that I used as well in the fridge. And so that has begun to fry already, which looks so nice. So I'm just gonna give you guys a closer look of how that looks while it is frying in just 1 second here. I'm gonna grab another stirring apparatus. And then I'm gonna walk over here. I'm just gonna gently fry it, you know, like make sure that the oil that we have is spread evenly across the pot to make sure that the cooking process is even across all of our beautiful medicines of onion and garlic here. Just want to thank the creator for how amazing this looks. Okay, so I'm going to use some turmeric powder. I think I was going to use some natural, like fresh turmeric, but you know what? I feel guided to use some turmeric powder. So I am also just going to use about a teaspoon of this turmeric powder that I have available to me right now. I'm just going to show you guys that process real quick while I do that. Put this here. And that's still frying over there. I haven't turned it down yet, but I might in a moment. I'm gonna grab a spoon. Here's another teaspoon. I'm just gonna go in there. Grab a teaspoon turmeric. All right. So here is that. I'm pretty much, that's a bit more than a teaspoon. So I'll let a bit of it go. Here's about a rounded teaspoon of some turmeric powder. And then I'm just gonna take my spoon. I'm gonna make sure that's all stirred in. So that way it's all in the proper place, you know? Okay. I'm also gonna show you guys how beautiful these onions and garlic look right now. As they're just still frying in the pot, you can see a little piece of garlic that we have really finely chopped together right there at the bottom, and the onions just kind of peeking out, looking so luscious and healthy, and like they're gonna keep us really good. I had a little bit of oil left in that teaspoon that I had. Didn't even add any more. It was just sitting there, so I'm gonna make sure it's all in there and waste nothing, because we honor all that the creator gives us. And I'm just gonna turn this down a wee bit and just keep it a little bit above medium. And then I'm gonna turn myself back around here, and I'm gonna show you guys how I make a traditional pot of rice. Just a little basic thing. And I'm gonna put away some of my stuff again, because I got a lot of stuff here again, which happens quickly around these parts. And right after do a cleanup, we're gonna start up a pot of rice. Or unless you have, this step can be skippable for you. you don't want rice, or if you already have a piece of bread available to you that you would rather have in inside this soup that we're making right now for ourselves. But whatever works for you, and you can follow along with that's what you desire. Those onions and garlic smell so good right now. I'm so happy to have them. Okay. So I have this beautiful small pot here because I don't need to make a lot. I'm just making it for me and my mom. So, because I've been living with my mom during the COVID time, so it seems like one of the wisest things to do, you know, get together with the elders and they can protect you and you protect them. So I am going to give it a quick rinse out. I'm pretty sure it was already clean, but it's always nice to make sure. And so now I have a small little pot here. I'm just going to throw away some of the other things that we do not need in our site right now. And there's a small pot. I'll move this knife over. I'm going to go stir the onions and garlic real quick too. And I'll let you guys know when I take them out of the pot, and I'll show you the consistency. It's a bit of a darkened color that you're looking for. You know, you want to make sure that it has like a bit of a darkenedness on it to give that soup just that like bite. You know, it's really nice, really nice. I'm about to stir up the soup itself too, right before I do this pot of rice. And I'm just going to give my soup a quick taste too and see how I feel about it. Okay. Definitely not done yet, but it definitely has a good consistency forming. I like it. So I'm gonna grab my rice. And I'm just gonna pour about a third of the pot. Is usually a wise amount because, as we all know, rice gets real big real fast. And then I'm gonna put in a little bit of, I don't know, I'm debating putting a bay leaf in the rice too. We love bay leaf. I've decided that I want to, so I'm going to take this piece of bay leaf, put it right there into our beautiful pot of rice. And then, well, actually, some people like to wash rice first. I think that's a wise idea. So before I do that, I'm just going to give it a quick rinse. I was going to skip that step because I'm like, oh, I don't know if everybody wants to do it, but it's healthy. So I would like to do it in this moment. I like to do it on average. So I'm just giving it a quick rinse with a fork here. And I'm just going to see how the starch comes up. That's what we're trying to get going here. Get the starch up and down and just give it a quick stir. I'm gonna let it sit there for a moment because right now what I'm seeing is I think our onions are about almost done here. This was what I was looking for. See that brownness that we're starting to have developed on that piece, especially here, you know, and like this one right here. Can't really see it. Hang. Like down in there, you know what I mean? I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but it looks really good to me. And so I think I'm gonna leave these in here for about another minute or two, and just make sure that you are keeping all of the garlic moving just as much as the onions, and without hurting the pan by scraping it too much. We're just making sure that all of the food is moving all the time, And that way we'll have less cleanup and also less food waste. If we can. I see that we got some comments here in the chat. In our house, we always leave it in the bay leaf. Oh, yes. Okay. These are the things that we've commented on. Okay. So I'm going to put us back right here. I'm just going to keep rinsing this rice up just a little bit more, I think. And then I'm going to rinse it out. And because we gave our rice a good wash, it's going to be real healthy for us, for which I'm very grateful. And now I am going to put the actual boiling water into the rice. I think that's good enough. So usually with rice, I just keep it at maybe about an inch above the actual rice itself is where I hold the water. And now I'm just going to put our bay leaf right back in. And then woohoo, we got some rice that is ready to start boiling. And the rice will only take a few minutes, but it's nice to let rice stand before we eat it. So maybe it'll work out that it cooks on time. So the onions are done. So the onions and garlic, sorry. So I'm gonna take the onions and garlic, and then I'm going to put them into the pot, and then the same exact burner that I used for the onions and garlic, I'm just gonna throw the rice pot onto that. So we don't even have to wait for the pots to heat up. Or rather the burner, the burner. That's what I meant to say. And I'm making sure that I get all of this garlic. That's gonna be so healthy for my body and just make me feel so good. So excited. I'm gonna stir that in briefly. I'm gonna give you guys a show right after I rinse out my pot. There we go. I'll give you guys a show what exactly this looks like right now for me. And I'd love to see how you guys are doing. I want to see what you guys' pots look like right now. I would love to see that. So this is what mine looks like. I just added the onions and the garlic. I'm about to add a tiny bit more water. Oh, there's our bay leaf, our little friend. But yeah, with soups, it's okay to add water as you go. Honestly, I always do. It's just something that kind of naturally ends up in the process for me. Not everybody does it like that. But honestly, I prefer to just let it happen organically, however it chooses to. So here is the pouring process right over here. Change, travel, and exploration. These are things that are coming soon in life after we're allowed to go out and walk again around in the community more. So excited to have such good times, hopefully coming up soon. So I'm gonna put these right in here, and then put that over there. So the rice has begun to boil. All of our ingredients for the soup are actually in the soup now. And so now I'm going to just take our little pot cover, put it back, let it sit there and be amazing and blessed. And I'm just gonna keep cleaning up little pieces of onion and stuff as I go along. So got my bay leaves, gonna take them back over to where I keep bay leaf in my little space there. Okay, I'll put us back right here. And then, all right, so, how's everybody feeling? I want to see your pots. I want to take a look now. Please point your camera at your pot if you feel comfortable. I would love to see. I'm gonna start scrolling through. All right, Pam, I see that you are moving. Ooh, okay. That looks really cool, Pam. Okay, okay. You may want to add a little bit of water to that if you feel comfortable. So that way it doesn't have such a grainy consistency.
I noticed that water soaked up pretty quickly at the beginning, so I have to add a little bit more.
Sometimes these happens with beans, but if we don't pre-soak them, which honestly, I don't really usually do that. Like when I'm using just like lentils and stuff. If I'm using like toughened beans, I do that. Win, I love the way that yours looks. It looks like, may I see a stir? May I see what's going on? That looks so beautiful, Win.
I want to tell you that I have a hard time following directions because I always do things my own way. And I expect that you're okay with that. But I had a big sweet potato that was getting a little warty. So in addition to the delicious soup that you've suggested, I grated up a whole big sweet potato and popped it in there. And I tell you, that soup is so good, I can't stop tasting it. Thank you.
I'm jealous. I want some of yours. What the heck? That sounds so delicious. Wow.
It is really, really good.
Bless. I'm honored that like you and also I'm the same way. I love making things my own all the time. Like I never do anything perfectly by the book. Like the only time I do anything perfectly by the book is like either if it's like for sacredness or governmental. That's the only time, and like other than that, I'm like, so what do I feel like doing today? So thanks for showing your uniqueness to the group, Win. We're all really happy to know you.
And you.
I had to use green lentils, so mine looks different. I'm not sure how I can use this that you can see. No.
I'm just gonna look as best as I can, and I'll just respect you no matter what.
No, you can't see it. Or can you?
I'd love to hear what you have to say.
I'm sorry. I use green lentils, and so they look bigger. They're more mushy.
Beautiful. Okay, that's perfect. Like whatever floats your boat. Like,
Yeah.
whatever that organically shows up to you, and as already stated by many people, like whatever you have available to you, whatever makes you feel comfortable and safe in the process. There is no rush, there is no force. Everything is just for the mutual comfort of the community and for you in your process. And we're just here to support you and to instruct you and make sure that you enjoy what you're doing with us. No force. Pam, I saw you take a spoonful. How does it taste?
It's good. It's really good. And I actually like it more like stewy than soupy.
Okay.
And I'm loving the ginger. So I haven't cooked with fresh ginger in a long time. So I'm just going to add a little bit more ginger.
Oh, you might inspire me to add a little bit more too. It's like I really like the taste of mine, but I'll get real. Like, could you use a little more? Man, I still got a couple more minutes before mine's complete. I like it's the pieces of lentil are still a little bit hard for me, so I think I might still have a bit more. Not hard, but they're like more chewy than I'd like for them to be for a soup. So I'm gonna take a sec here and I'm gonna follow Pam's idea actually because she's super intelligent and cool, and I'm gonna do that too. Beautiful.
Now, Arwen, I wanted to mention something else to you.
Yes, ma'am.
You have in your recipe saffron.
Yeah.
adding it at the end. Now, I went through my kitchen cupboard and I found at the very back something I bought some years ago and I've never ever used. And it's called Culinary Calendula, Egyptian saffron made with calendula flowers. And this is from Naab. You know, the people that grow the lavender in Niagara on the Lake.
Yeah.
So this is Egyptian saffron grown in Niagara on the Lake.
Can you
And
please
it's,
show me? I show the group. Like, we'd love to see what you're talking about here.
can you see that?
That is such medicine. Wow. I love that so much.
Well, the thing is, I didn't know what to do with it. And when you had that in your recipe, it took me 20 minutes going through the cupboards to find it. And so now I'll use it for the very first time.
Oh, wow. I would love to like see how that ends up. What is it? What is the aroma? What do you feel about it?
It has a very nice aroma. I'm going to shake some into my hand.
Okay. I'm gonna see that.
In some ways, it looks a little bit like tobacco.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know that I can show this.
Oh, you know what? It's so much more yellow than mine. I wonder what land my saffron that I have right now is in alignment with. Because yours is Egyptian, you say, right?
Well, that's what the bottle says.
Well, all right.
It's made from calendula flowers, so I don't know if it's the petals of the flower or what. So
Okay.
the next excitement will be to put it on the soup and see what it does.
Oh, I know that that's gonna just treat you so well. I love putting saffron on soup just to like close it up. You know what I mean? It always adds that little something at the end. I find. I don't know why I feel that way. I just feel passionate about saffron because first of all, it's a really strong medicine for the body, and also it's just cute. You know, it's a nice garnish, and I think we all deserve to eat food that looks nice.
And
You know?
did you
When
know
I
that-
just ordered some calendula seeds for my garden. I'd be happy to share some with you if you want some.
Okay, thank you. Well,
Oh.
now you know you can get this stuff at Naab on Highway 55 in Niagara on the Lake.
Bless. Oh, so a little bit of water in there to pour out.
And you don't have to go all the way to Egypt.
Hey, wow. You know what? What if I want it anyways? Some of my people are there. I am native to this land, though at the same time, I have such a mixed thing, you know, like I'm a little bit of everywhere. So I have so many places in the world where I'm like, I probably have cousins there, and I probably have cousins there, and I probably have cousins there, and over there too. Thank you so much for sharing your experience of the calendula form of saffron that you have in. Well, that's just safe.
Thank you so much. I'm going to have to go.
Okay, well, you enjoy your time. One love. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Thank you for coming tonight, Nancy. It was lovely to see you.
Okay. Bye now.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Love.
Now I'm in for a big bowl of soup.
Arwen, I have a question for you.
Yeah, Kent, what's up, man?
Nothing to do with your delicious lentil soup that I'm going to make eventually. I'm
Okay.
not making it right now. But I think Chase said that you are a Trinidadian background.
That is me, yes.
Do you have you ever made callaloo soup?
Oh, you know about callaloo, huh?
I've never tried it, but only by reputation.
Well, callaloo is a really powerful soup. It's very yummy, traditionally vegan as well, actually. And that's a food that actually I never fully learned how to make it. And honestly, it's because my mom makes it so good. I like, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I was like, Mom, you just make it. I love you. And then like I make everything else and she makes callaloo, you know what I'm saying?